And we are live. So here today we are with Groot. Groot, is your real name Groot or is it like John?
No, my real name is neither Groot nor John. I'm not going to reveal my real name. That's for the. That's for my. I have to keep some anonymity, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Groot is fair enough. It's good enough. Yeah. I'm satisfied with Groot.
Right? Me too. It's been that way for a while now, so it's unnecessary to change, I think.
And we are also today with Paulo. You guys know Paulo for sure. Paulo has been a member of our channel for quite a while. How are you, Paulo?
I'm fine. Thank you very much for asking. Very cold here today.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not even cold in Sweden.
Yeah, but you know, we are in autumn here in Brazil, and São Paulo feels that really strong.
I see.
So it's about 16 degrees, I think. 16
and
degrees.
That's cold.
Yeah, for here, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's summer here.
For Brazilian standards, yeah.
16 degrees for Salvador is unbelievable. Like this is just hot. As hot. This is as cold. Sorry, as this is just too cold for us. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
27 degrees for us. It's very cold. We're already using, cold.
27.
27 degrees.
Wow.
I think 27 here is like we have that maybe 5 days a year. That's the peak heat. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it's very hot for being here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Groot, first of all, please introduce yourself. Tell us some details about yourself.
Well, I'm a music lover, first and foremost, I believe. And I've been, we're all on this channel, we're all enjoying Eurovision, I think, every year, pretty much. And I've been watching it for, I think, 18 years now. So since I was very, very young. And it's been, a part every year, listening to new songs and really enjoying it. And so what I do mostly now, as people might know me from, is where I upload to YouTube reviews of the songs and reaction videos in that sense. And I think that's where people would know me from at this point.
Okay, good. So first, let's see we have some comments here. We have Rui. He's saying hi. Hello, Rui.
Hello.
Fabio speaks. I'm not sure if Fabio speaks English, but Fabio, if you have a question, you can just write in Portuguese and we are going to translate. Se você tiver uma pergunta, Fábio, você pode escrever em português e a gente traduz, ok? He's saying hello. Paul is saying hello. Fernando Alves is saying hello, and Masked Kami is also saying hello. So first of all, I would like you to talk about a bit like how can you describe the music in Eurovision nowadays? Because many people tend to say that Eurovision music, it's very calculated. There is a formula, and the songs are always very similar to each other, or the songs are usually similar to something else. Okay, there is a lack of originality in Eurovision. So what do you think as a person who really understands music? Because me and Paulo, we kind of pretend to understand music, but you really do.
You flatter me way too much. I don't know how to respond to that. But I think for your question, it's I think that it's always been a way that sometimes the music is predictable, but there are also acts every year that stand out massively, I think. I mean, you just look at this year and you have the songs from Russia, I think mainly, is just completely out of the box, and you wouldn't hear it anywhere else. So there are always inputs of different countries that are kind of unpredictable. So I don't really think it's an argument to use that we hear the same songs every year.
Paulo, what do you think?
Yeah, I do think that that's really makes sense about Russia. Russia and Ukraine maybe has the most different songs of this year, and maybe what people don't quite understand when we say that, oh, the music is very quite like the same, or some people say even generic, is that Eurovision tend to go with the flow of music, and pop music is really popular today in the style, but they have a way of bringing something like for ethnic sounds, or like something really cool that you don't expect in very like mainstream songs, and that's what makes Eurovision some special, and especially with the language, like both Russia and Ukraine are singing in their native language this year, and that's very interesting because it opens like the minds of people who usually listen to music only in English. I think that's very cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, just the concept of having songs in different languages is something that we're not exposed to regularly, at least not in Sweden at all.
Yeah,
Like,
it was something that I was going to ask actually, because like many people think that Melodifestivalen should have more songs in Swedish, and maybe a Swedish language song winning Melodifestivalen to represent Sweden at Eurovision. What do you think about that?
I would love for a Swedish song to represent us sometime, but it's just not looking likely because I think mainly because we have international juries. They seem to kind of, I mean, juries in general seem to go for the normal pop songs, which I get. I completely get their reasoning behind it. They want to find something that works on the radio. They want to find something that's very applicable to everyone to listen to. But it's usually also tends to kind of overshadow the songs that might be more catered to us, just Swedes. But then again, I think that maybe us Swedes in the televote also kind of reject the songs that are sung in Swedish, unfortunately. We had one song this year, I believe, that really stood out. I don't know if you watch Melodifestivalen or not, but
We do.
you do. But the song from Clara Klingenström,
Yes.
which I personally found to be really like a really strong song, and it's become a pretty big hit here in Sweden, and a lot of people really like it because it speaks to them. And the usage of the Swedish language in that song really indicates how beautiful the language can be at times. But I think a lot of people cater away from the Swedish language because we want to be more like America and the United Kingdom in our music industry. And so it just makes sense for songwriters here to write in English.
Yeah, a friend of mine from Sweden also told me that the songs in Swedish for Melodifestivalen tend to be not very well produced as the songs in English. And he talked about, I think, 2016, 2015, I don't remember. That was by Anya. I don't remember her last name, but she's a singer really that competed in Melodifestivalen like 100 times, and she that her song was in Swedish, and he liked very much the song, but it was not well produced and well presented at Melodifestivalen. That, which was he said that it's weird because when you look at the charts in Sweden, most of the songs are in Swedish. That would make perfectly sense to send a song in Swedish for Eurovision.
Absolutely. I think, like, obviously, the songs that are written in English might get the bigger splash of budget in terms of producing it, I believe, because they just know that it works. I mean, if you look at Sweden's track record in Eurovision, obviously there's something that works there. So they kind of just stick to what they know will work. But then you have, like, as you say, in the Swedish charts, have a lot of songs in Swedish, and so it's not like it's a dead language for us to actually use. It's just not very popular, I guess, because they know what works in Eurovision and they don't want to stray away from that.
Yeah, and it seems that some artists that, like, for example, Darin is singing Swedish right now, and I think that Clara, the issue is that even though the song is very similar to Melissa Horn, who is a big name in Sweden, and one of my favorite Swedish singers too. I love her.
Mine too.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of have some similar tastes. Like, for example, your favorite in Melody Festival in this year was Dani Salcedo, right? He was
Guilty.
my favorite. Yeah.
Nice choice.
But the thing is, it seems that some songs in Swedish, they tend to be a bit more like, it seems that some artists that used to sing in English, they are now singing in Swedish. But when it comes to Melody Festival, they say, oh no, we have to perform in English. And Dani, he performed in Swedish, but Eric Saade, he is now singing in Swedish, but he said that once he gave in like this interview and said, if I ever go back to Melody Festival, I'm going to perform in English. So it seems that people are just going to follow the formula because they believe the language is going to be more accessible for the international audience. But like, in your opinion, do you think that Sweden can do very well or can even win with a song in Swedish?
No, I don't think, like in Eurovision, I don't think so. I would be ecstatic if Sweden even dared to send a song in Swedish, but I just feel like this whole jury advantage that we seem to have with our songs would completely disappear if we sang in Swedish. It's just a feeling I got. I don't know for sure, but I'm just not expecting great things if we send something in Swedish.
Okay, so now let's talk a bit about you just today I just watched your reaction to Russia, and I put the question here about Russia because you said something very interesting. You said I will probably need to listen this song again to analyze it better. Do you think this is an advantage when it comes to Eurovision? Like, people listen to it and say, okay, this is intriguing, I want to listen to this again, and then I'm going to vote for it. Okay, this is a possibility. Or do you think this is a disadvantage? Like, people, oh no, it just doesn't work in the first listen.
I think that it's one of these songs that are really divisive, so that I think just the general audience at home will either decide right then and there that they love it or they hate it. I just can't see the middle ground from a general audience. Like, if my dad was to watch the show, he would hate it instantly. I know he would. It's you just feel like either they will love it or they will hate it. I don't think it's something that people will sit there and have a selection of 16 songs in the first semi, and they will decide that, this one sounded interesting, I want to listen to it again, and then vote. You're not really granted that opportunity. So they just have to decide that, oh, I love it or I hate it.
Paulo.
Yeah.
You like Russia. I know you like
Russia. Yeah, I really do. Because but I didn't like Russia when I first saw the performance. I didn't like, because I thought that's a little messy, and I was a little bit disappointed because I love Malaysia. I follow her career, but when it was released like the studio version, I couldn't stop listening to the song, especially because it has elements that I really like, especially being sung in Russian. I love when a song in Eurovision goes in their native language, it has more points for me, even though sometimes the quality is not very good, but okay, props to that because it's being sung in their native language. But I really love Russia. But yeah, it totally makes sense when you are in the contest and say, okay, I'm gonna listen to this once more to see if I like. It's not a very good thing because you have 3 minutes to nail your performance and nail the song, so you have to do it right at the first time. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with this first semifinal. This is a very competitive semifinal, in my opinion. I think it's going to be very difficult to predict who is going to qualify. So we are not going to make predictions today. Let's just pick all the songs we like. Okay. So Groot, what are your favorites for the first semifinal?
I think I'll just throw my very favorite out there, and that's Romania. So far from the songs, but I'm not sure how it will transmit to the live performance. You know, I think the strongest part of that song is the production quality of it and how it's been laid out, like what do you call it, soundstage wise. When you see it live, you won't really get that sound experience in the same way. So it might lose a little bit on that. But I think that if you're looking for something that should just sneak into the Spotify playlist or something, this is a home run for me.
Okay, and you, Paulo, who is your like number one in semifinal one?
Russia?
Well, although I love Russia, my number one is Lithuania in this semifinal. I really like them, the performance of they're about to bring, the colors, their personalities are very, very nice. And I really hope they do a good job. It's a song that can be very well translated, not only in the studio version, but also the stage that we were first introduced to the song with a live performance. So that's very, very nice song, and they're really, really bonkers. So I really like when the people are quite crazy, like them. So yeah, I really love Lithuania in this semifinal. Russia is also there with Ukraine and stuff. I'm really a bit worried about Ukraine performance, as a little bit of Russia too, but I hope they do a good job. Yeah.
Hmm. What do you think, Groot, about Ukraine? Because it seems to be a very, it's one of those songs that people either hate or love, and their style is a bit more, a bit. It's one of those songs that the juries in Eurovision usually don't like. So, what do you think about the song? Do you like it?
I should probably mention that I haven't reviewed it on my channel yet, so I'm not going to spoil too much of what I'm going to say there. But I do think that you shouldn't look too much into what the juries usually don't like, because the juries did like Jamala after all.
Indeed,
And it wasn't as, you know, if I'm going to use Paul's word, bonkers, as it might be, but it's still, you know, very ethnic to the core, that in a similar way, and it's very representative of a certain style that might not be accessible to everyone. So I think there is something there that even juries will, like, if they feel it, they will feel it. I think juries go a lot with feeling, maybe more than musical complexity in that sense. I mean, if it makes you feel something, then maybe you will bump it up because of your subjective opinion.
We got some comments here. Let's check. We have a guy called Eve Khan. He's saying, "Hello, Hall. Saw you announcing you're here live, so came to support you during the chat group."
Thank you, Evcon.
There's a girl here called Luisa Fernandez. She's saying, if Sweden fails to qualify for the final this year, do you think Swedish composers can rethink the formula for making songs for Melody Festivalen and making more songs in Swedish? That's a tough question, right?
It is. I don't think there's a big chance that Sweden will fail to qualify. I'll just throw that out there. I feel very confident. I mean, just in Sweden, he won the televote, or like the audience vote, getting high marks from everyone, the highest mark of everything. So I see it being very accessible, and it's, you know, just well produced. It has a good package on stage and such as well. So I just can't see it. But if it were to happen, I don't think it will affect the language, because when we didn't qualify in 2010, we sang in English, and ever since then we've sang in English every year. So take that what you want.
What about you, Paul? What do you think?
Yeah, I think the same. Like, I don't see Sweden not qualifying, and if the non-qualification comes, I don't think it's gonna change the formula to a Swedish language song. And I think maybe like in 2010, when Sweden didn't qualify, it was like the end of a round of bad results for Sweden because we had like 2008, 2009, and 2010. But 2011 was a pretty good year for Sweden, and then the victory came in 2012. So I kind of don't see it. Like people are kind of comparing that could be a situation of non-qualification like it was in 2010, but I really don't see it happening. Although it's not my favorite song, but I don't see it happening.
2010 was a very sad edition for me because my mom, she used to love Eurovision, but when Sweden didn't qualify, she was so disappointed that she never watched it ever again.
Due to Sweden, really?
She was very disappointed. She was about to cry. She was very sad. She was very
Alright.
sad, and she was even more disappointed when Germany won because she hated the song. She was like, "No, I will not. I'm not watching this ever again." And she was already very disappointed with Spain in 2009 because they were like last. But after Sweden did not qualify, she said, "I'm not watching this final. I'm not watching this show ever again." She kind of watches from time to time when I show her a video or two, but she's not a hardcore fan anymore.
What a shame.
Yeah,
Should tell her that Sweden has a good tracker record now. Then maybe that'll lift her spirits.
she loves Loreen. Loves Loreen. She was expecting Loreen to win, and she was happy when Loreen won. But she's like, she doesn't love it anymore. But anyway, one of the big favorites of the semifinal is Malta. What do you think, Groot, of Malta? Like, it's a very different song from what people expected from Destiny, because she was considered to be a more like a ballady singer, but it's totally the opposite. So, what do you think about the song? Was it the kind of song you were expecting?
No, I wouldn't say I was expecting it, but when I heard it, it just felt right. It clicked with her and what she wanted to do as a performer, I believe. And this whole upbeat atmosphere, it fits her because she's quite infectious in her. I think like her, what do you call it? The charisma and the smile. It's very infectious, and it fits the song with that kind of attitude. So I just think it's a really nice match that I didn't expect, and I don't think many other people expected either. But it worked over expectation. Because maybe when you look at it on paper, you would feel like, oh, okay, why are they wasting her on a, well, I wouldn't call it a normal pop song, but it's it has taken inspirations from songs that might be less vocal driven, I think. And I expected, yeah.
What about you, Paul? What do you think?
Well, it was quite a surprise of the song too, because we know her from the Junior Eurovision, and we kind of forget that people grow up, and I was not expecting that style for her. But yeah, she delivers the song well, I think, but I'm really surprised that it's kind of leading the polls. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't expect people to connect with the song that much. It's not bad. It's not a bad song. It's not that it's not competent to do that. No. But I think that I'm really surprised with the polls result. Yeah, like the odds. She's leading like since the release of all songs. So I'm kind of excited to see how it's going to be delivered on stage.
Okay, so we have some questions here from Ruby Giraffes. Was just wondering, as much as I don't like comparing them, I love both songs, but there are two rock songs from Italy and Finland this year. Was hoping to know everyone's opinion on who made you better. This is a very interesting question because I have a very close friend from Finland. Like the one time that I went to Eurovision, I was with her, and I also went to Finland. I went to Sweden with her, a couple of years ago. Not a couple of years. It was 10 years ago, guys.
Yeah.
It was
Couple of
like
years.
I'm getting old without noticing. But anyway, the thing she texted me asking, Sonny, do you think Italy is going to do better than us? Because I really hope we do good this year. So what do you think, Groot?
Uh, I feel so attacked always being the first you ask, but I'll try and come up with some. It's super hard to predict all the time because I'm terrible at predicting, like absolutely terrible. I haven't got a winner correct since Loreen, so it's been a while. But if I were to guess, I would guess that Italy would do better because it's just. I think it leaves more of a visual impression of what they want to do. It's not that I necessarily prefer that song. If I had to choose, I would probably prefer Finland because it just caters to my subjective taste more. I've grown up with this kind of music, so it's very close to me.
Oh, yeah.
But it's I do see that Italy has a slight advantage because they're more maybe not in your face, but they definitely have a style that is more maybe admirable. Like people can look at them and think that wow, they are really cool. While Finland might just be, oh, look at these hard rockers from Finland. I think there's a contrast in that, and but I hope that both do really well. Obviously, I want both in the top 10. I think.
In you, Paulo.
Yeah, I see that Italy can perform better than Finland. I love both songs. They're very high quality rock songs. That's like maybe one of the best rock songs that ever was in the contest from the both countries. And I see that Italy can have like a better performance due to their image and stuff. Maybe, as a Brazilian, we kind of connect with the language better than but yeah, I really like Italy and Finland. It's not I feel that both are not going to disappoint. Like they're gonna make Finland proud. Italy has a very very good track record, but I think Finland will maybe have the best result in years with the song. Like, I think they have the potential to do that. Yeah,
I hope they do.
Yeah, I really hope they do. Like they're really young and they're really like having fun also. So I think they're gonna do really really great at this year. Yeah.
I think that something that Groot said, which is very interesting, guys. There are some comments here. I'm gonna post your comments in a minute, okay? But like, there is something very interesting that Groot said is that Finland is also the kind of song that I grew up listening to. Okay, because I'm not sure how old you are, but I think we are kind of the same age. But Finland is one like Linkin Park, or I don't know. There are many Nightwish.
Nightwish is from Finland.
But it's not as similar to Dark Side, I would say.
Oh no, that's
Without
not.
guitars and headbanging, that's
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think that song it's very similar to this.
Like
that
Lordy, like
could be maybe,
yeah.
but the thing is, I think that Italy is more current.
But I would actually argue on that one too a little bit, because I do think that the Finnish song sounds a lot like some of the more like new metal influenced rock bands of today. Like we have called Bless the Fall. There's Falling in Reverse. Bring Me the Horizon. I've seen a lot of mentions for. I think mainly their 2014 album has a lot of similarities to this kind of music. It's very synth, with also being this really heavy guitars. So there are still modern inputs in this, I think. But maybe Italy is more accessible, I think, because people can look at the Finnish one and say that, oh, they're just screaming. I get that argument all the time when, it's hard rock music. Yeah, that's how it is.
I wouldn't say that, but there are some comments here. this is this is a very interesting question. Should the juries reward daring and ethnic songs more than they currently seem to be? If so, how can this be achieved? Like, I was very disappointed when a song like Finland in 2010 it did not qualify because of the judges. So, what do you think about this subject, Groot? Sorry.
It's really interesting, but I think we also need to remember that juries are not only like 5 people. It's 5 people in every country. So you can't just decide that, okay, all of the jurors should now think of ethnic songs, because maybe one of them really likes the ethnic songs, but another one hates them, and that balances it out. So there's I think it's harsh to group juries as just juries, because maybe some of the juries actually do really reward the ethnic songs, but the others drag them down. So it's always hard to tell. But again, obviously, being a bit daring should probably be acknowledged and rewarded, I think. But there's always a subjective appeal in what you think is daring and what you just think maybe sounds dumb or something that you don't get.
What about you, Paul? What do you think?
I think it should be rewarded as well, but also there's a problem in some juries that they are very biased. Like Georgia will not give points to Russia, for example. We saw that happening since maybe 2008, 2010. I don't remember well. Yeah, Ukraine. Ukraine is quite divisive.
Didn't all jurors from Serbia in 2019 give 12 points to Montenegro? I think every single juror had Montenegro first.
Yeah.
Too obvious.
Yeah, in 2019, all jurors from Georgia put Russia at last place. So that happening. But yeah, I think the juries go most also about, like, when we say daring, like, some of them might not be very open to, oh, that's different and that works,
Exactly.
and it's a shame, because we are there for the difference. We are there for, like, it's very good to listen to. It's very a fun song, maybe, so yeah, I think it should be rewarded, but that things of juries being biased really piss me off on that, because you should vote for the music, not your neighboring country. But that happens with the televote also. But
oh, absolutely.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that I agree with you guys, but I think that there are some groups of juries that tend to vote for more ethnic songs, and I think Serbia is one of those juries, because they gave high marks to Hungary in 2017. They gave high marks to Hungary. Croatia gave high marks to Hungary in 2017. But this is something that there are not many judges doing that. Okay, and the thing is, for example, Belarus and Portugal, they almost got the same amount of points from the televote, but the judges pushed Belarus.
Yeah.
They did not want Portugal to qualify. I'm not sure if you guys. I know Paulo doesn't like the song, but I always give this example. we are a YouTube channel in Portuguese. Most of our reactions and our lives are in Portuguese, and we have Portuguese people in our team. So that's it always comes to my mind. So what do you think, Groot, about this? Do you think that, like, the judges tend to support songs that are more generic instead of supporting songs that are more daring? And did you like Portugal 2019?
I'll wait for that one. It's with the jury question. I think that it's always difficult to say, because all of the juries are different, as I said. But I will go from what I see in the Swedish jury vote, because that's kind of I don't pay too much attention in what does well in each country's jury, but I know a little bit about the Swedish one. And we tend to vote for songs that we think would do well on the radio. I think that's a very normal formula for the Swedish jurors to have, because it's usually the radio-friendly songs that rank highly among our jurors. I think the main example is 2018. I don't remember who they gave 12 points to and not, but Denmark ranked by far highest in our televote. And I remember the jurors did not really agree. And I mean, Denmark was also, if I remember correctly, a song that Melodifestivalen rejected. It just means that the people of Sweden might love it, but maybe the people in charge and the jurors might not.
Okay, Paul, what do you think about it? We all know you don't like telemóveis, but but do you think that the judges, they tend to vote for songs that are more generic instead of voting for songs that are a bit more daring?
I do. I kind of do. I remember also Poland 2014. They ranked 4 in the televote, and the jurors like put them down heavily, especially in the UK. I think it was in the UK that happened. I think, I think many jurors are not ready and open-minded for songs that are more daring and different.
And sometimes it really works, because that song, I remember I played that song at work, and the guy, like, he doesn't speak English, he doesn't speak Polish for sure, and like usually listens to our Brazilian music, like our standard Brazilian music, our Schlager Brazilian music that he listens to. And when I play this song, he listens and this is amazing. Play it again. And like he's a security guard, and he played the song all the time, and he was always, trying and clapping the choreography and stuff. And sometimes I think that the judges, they think of a formula that sometimes doesn't really work with the general public. Let's go to some questions here. There's a question about Malta. I like the Maltese song, but I don't quite think it's winner worthy. Would be super happy for Destiny and Malta as a country if it were to happen, though. There's another comment here. Oh man, so disappointed she never went back again. Well, no matter how bad it got, even if I knew we, the Netherlands, wouldn't qualify, I always watch, maybe not the final, but definitely the same. So I think he's talking
probably
about
Anna right? Yeah.
I like Jemekas, but I doubt that Destiny will win. It's top 5 material, but I think it's not yet the year of Malta.
When is the year for Malta, though? One can ask, because what is it? 50 years they've been in now. So
yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm very biased with Malta because I don't like the song, so I obviously don't think it's going to win. I think the Nordics prefer Dark Side, and the Southerns prefer Simone. I totally agree with that. I definitely agree with Bring Me the Horizon, because that was the first band I made the comparison with. Guys, let's just get rid of all the comments, okay? And then I'm going to ask questions, okay? The thing that stands out to me is how different some entries from this year are compared to last year. The same artists, but they went a completely different direction. Surprisingly delightful, or what do you think, Groot, about that?
In some cases, it's delightful, and in some cases, I'm really disappointed. I think North Macedonia is the biggest one that I'm super disappointed with.
Yeah.
I mean, they had something I really enjoyed last year. They had something really refreshing, something that was just fun. And I get it that this year it's very personal to him and he feels very emotionally about it. But it feels, I've said it in my review so many times that I feel like it sounds very fake and way too over the top and overblown. And I think that this probably is a case that maybe North Macedonia weren't doing too well in the betting odds last year, I guess. So they decided that, okay, we're not going to go on the same track again. But I just feel like they completely missed that there was an audience for the song they had last year, and they kind of missed that opportunity to actually, what do you call it, adhere to that audience.
Paulo, what do you think about North Macedonia?
I completely agree. I think it's the biggest disappointment of this year, especially when he released a song like a week before. That was Should Be Now. That was like so good to go to Eurovision with that song. And
I haven't heard it, but then I'll listen to it, I guess.
It's so nice. It's so good. And like he didn't want to send the song, and it was just disappointing because he's a very good artist. He knows how to deliver a performance. But just disappointed with North Macedonia. Just disappointed.
But then again, you have a very delightful one, I think, is Greece. I mean, I personally didn't get last year at all. And now all of a sudden, I really enjoyed what they had. So that could just be me, but I really didn't get what they were going for last year.
Oh yeah, I didn't like this Supergirl, if I'm not wrong. The song was called last year of Greece, and yeah, it was a big improvement in my opinion.
Romania is better too. I think Romania has a better song.
Ooh, I can't choose between them. I love both. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Romania is better this year too.
So after comparing Finland and Italy, I have to ask, what about songs in French this year? This is going to be a big one. This is going to be a huge debate here. But France or Switzerland, which one do you think will do best? I'm not going to start with Groot this time. I'm going to start with Paulo. Paulo.
I think France will do better than Switzerland, because I don't know, maybe I when I compare how much I listen to those songs, Switzerland is a song that I'm not listening a lot anymore. Like I skip it in my playlist, and I'm really worried about Switzerland performance, like how they're gonna deliver that performance. I'm really like, please do not do the same thing as Arcade. That my main worry.
He already said, he's not going to do it.
So yeah, but I think France will deliver better. It's a song with like very French, very chanson française, and for me it's better than Switzerland. I was kind of like, I prefer in terms of comparing to last year, I prefer Switzerland last year better than this year. And yeah, I think France was not that I expect Switzerland to do bad, but I think in terms of performance, France has more chances of doing better than Switzerland this year.
Groot.
I'm not gonna give away too much here either, because I obviously haven't reviewed Switzerland yet or published it, so I'm not gonna give away exactly what I think of it. And as I said, I'm terrible at predictions, so it's a difficult question for me. But in contrast to all of them, I actually prefer what Switzerland has this year. I can give that much away, because I think it's a more complex song in terms of its writing. There are quite a nice use of like transitions in this song, I believe, mainly in how they arrange the chords. I'll be more in depth on that if you watch my review when it comes out. But I think that it's also more what do you call it, instant on an audience, because of these heavy choruses. They're really wide. They're very hard hitting. I think that maybe last year I'm I'll go out on a limb and say I don't think they would have won last year, because I think the song was too stripped down. It was very emotional, and I think it could touch a lot of people, but I don't think it really had that moment that really hooks the entire audience, which I do think they have this year. I could definitely see them win if they have a staging that actually matches their ambitions. And personally, I can't see France win, because I just think that France haven't won since 1977, I believe, and it's just they have sent good songs in the past, mainly in the early 2000s, and just missed out. And I don't think it will be different this year, because the song won't be accessible for everyone. Some people who maybe are more narrow-minded will just see that, oh look, it's France, let's throw a baguette under the arm and call it a day, because that's what they see when they hear a song in French, and it's sad, but I think there will be an audience that is like that.
Okay, so there is another comment. I think one of the negative side effects of the juries is the fact that ethnic songs have pretty much disappeared. Indeed, the songs are much more generic nowadays. The context has way less variety now compared to 15 years ago. I think this is something that we can all agree. Like, I think we have watched Eurovision for quite a while. My first Eurovision was in 2007, and like there was much more diversity back then.
I have this 2007.
My God, a wonderful year, wonderful edition. Maybe instead of rewarding dairy and ethnic songs, reward for non-English songs. Yeah.
Again, it goes back to this point I made with radio friendliness, though. I mean, in Sweden, you would never hear a song sung in either Italian or French, and certainly not Croatian on the radio. I just think that it's just the concept that jurors have, like the mindset that it should do well on the radio, and therefore they grade.
Yeah, but you know what I think is that most of the songs that we listen on the radio are from UK or USA. That's true. And especially here in Brazil, we only listen to music, even if it's Swedish, we only listen if it's successful in UK and USA. If it's successful there, then it's going to come up in our radios. But the thing is, if we do not allow songs in other languages, how are people going to have access to them? That's the issue, because not many people have like access to these songs like every day. But like, for example, I'm a teacher, and many of my students, when I show a song to them, they say, okay, this song is very good. Like it's in Albanian. Albanian, is this a real language? It's good, and they keep on listening to it, and then it becomes a hit in the classroom. Okay, but the thing is, if Eurovision, which is a platform for diversity, does not allow and does not support songs in different languages, how are we going to cross these limits? Because, for example, Salvador Sobral, he won with a song in Portuguese, and I think that song in Portuguese, it's very accessible, because this is the song in Portuguese that people are expecting to listen. It's very bossa nova. It kind of reminds us of Brazil, but it kind of also reminds us of Portugal. You know, Caetano Veloso, who is Brazilian, supported the song. You know, that's how I feel. What do you think, Groot?
Well, maybe we should give the win to France this year then, so we'll get that associated with. But I think you're absolutely right that maybe the results that they get don't allow the general mass to really be exposed to this kind of music. But it's just such a massive process to try for a change, I think. But I mean, we did actually have a small sign of a change being possible in 2019 now, when Norway won. It's not necessarily a new or a different language, but the Sami influence spoke to all of Europe because it won the televote. So obviously that's not a barrier, but it's just that maybe I don't know. I've never heard that song on the radio in Sweden, and Sweden usually plays Norwegian Eurovision songs on the radio. But the one that won the televote all over Europe, I've never heard it on the radio here. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the radio stations don't think it's like it's going to be a good idea to play songs in those languages, even though they won the televotes in Eurovision. That's the thing. I think that, like, for example, Arcade is like a huge success now because the song is overused in TikTok. But Soldi was very successful internationally, and it was a song in Italian and in Arabic. So you see, so there is a possibility there. Like, it's not like every song in Swedish is going to do well, or every song in Albania is going to do well. But if it's a good song in Albanian, well performed, it can do well, and it can be a worldwide success. I'm pretty sure about that.
Didn't Albania in 2018 do very well in the jury vote, actually?
Yeah, they did.
I think they did. Like, but maybe that was due to the vocal performance. I don't know, but I just remember that I think they did quite well with it.
Yeah, it was due to the vocals, because that vocal was just out of this.
He's a very good singer.
So some comments here. Swedish was gave 12 points to Cyprus in 2018.
Not surprising at all.
Yeah,
like the whole songwriting group was Swedish, weren't they? So
Groot is very honest, right? Of course.
Surprising.
And one of the guys that wrote Fuego, he was born in Brazil.
There you see.
I think Georgia is the biggest disappointment of the year. Take Me As I Am was in my top 5 last year, but this year Georgia is my 35th. What do you think about Georgia, Groot?
I'm disappointed too, but I do think that there is an audience for the new song as well. I've noticed by reading comments and such that some people do really like what they have this year as well, and that it's very iconic to its own style. You know, it's a style that might not be very approachable for everyone, but for its limited audience, I think it really has hit home. I'm not a part of that audience, so I can't really tell, but I've noticed that some people really do enjoy it. But if I were to choose one of the two, I would absolutely choose last year, because it hit me with how different it was, and it was actually really engaging. But I do know that there are people who prefer this one this year, actually.
Paolo.
Yeah, Georgia was also like a disappointment, but from Georgia is something that I quite expect not to be very good. Sorry, Georgia. Like, of course they have great, like, Nina Sublatti, like Sofia Nijarade, but yeah, Georgia. But last year they were good. Yeah, they were like, wow, that's a very good song. But this year, I don't know what happened. It was really down, really down.
It's bad. You mean it's bad?
It's really
No
bad.
sugarcoating.
No. Or what are you gonna say? Like, I'm very surprised to see that some people like the song. Very surprised. I'm also not part of that audience. Not at all. But there's room for everybody. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it has an interesting melody.
Maybe it's very.
I don't see it. It froze here.
Yeah, it froze here. It's very cold in Sweden now, guys.
Yeah.
You know, Sweden. The internet in Sweden is not as good as the internet in Brazil.
Yeah,
you guys
sorry.
think we are not doing well, but we are doing excellent. It's a very modern country.
Yeah, our connectivity is way better.
Everything is better here, actually. I got vaccinated. I got vaccinated, so I can't complain.
Oh, that's nice.
So let's see here. Okay. Let's wait a bit. Maybe he's going to. There is a comment here. We can answer this question.
Oh,
He's
went down.
he went down. Maybe he's going to come back. So let's just answer this question. Do you think the jury winner this year will be a surprise winner like Austria in 2018 and North Macedonia in 2019? What do you think, Paulo?
I think it can be. Yeah. You know, it all comes down to the performance. So it can be. It would be really nice to see, like, also another surprise winner in the jury voting.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I was talking to a friend about that. I think that the jury winner is going to be, it can be Malta maybe, but I think that the jury winner is going to be either Switzerland or um,
Hello.
let's just
I
put this guy in the middle. Okay, we are just answering this question,
Yeah.
and like, who do we think is going to be the jury winner this year? It's going to be a surprise winner like Austria or North Macedonia. I think the jury winner this year is going to be either Switzerland or France. What do you think, Groot?
I need time to think of that one. Can you go? Can you send it forward for now? I need a moment to process. I think.
Would you say that Switzerland can win the jury? Can you see that like Switzerland win the jury?
It could happen, but I thought that Arcade would have won it by a landslide, and it didn't. So I don't know. It could happen, but I think that, like the question suggests, there could always be a surprise winner with the juries. Absolutely, and it all depends on the staging too. You know.
Yeah.
So guys, just to close this first semifinal, we talked about the second semifinal because of the questions, but I would like you guys to talk about 3 songs, okay, who I think very interesting. The first one is Belgium, who I would say it can be a jury winner. It's a very mature song. It's very radio friendly, so I can see this song winning the jury. What do you guys think about Belgium? And then I would like to ask you about Azerbaijan, which is a song that people think it's very good. Some people think it's amazing. Some people think it's trash. Some people think Azerbaijan is not going to qualify. And the last song that I would like you guys to mention is Norway. And that's it. I'm not going to even talk about Norway. I just want to talk about these 3 songs. Groot.
All right. If we start with Belgium, I think it comes down heavily to who the juries are. Like it's so difficult because 5 people from each country get so much power, and you can't really say that juries always vote for the same type of songs because it always depends on who these 5 people are. And Belgium definitely caters to maybe an older audience than maybe a song like Azerbaijan, for instance. So it all depends on who sits in these juries. But I think that Belgium has the potential to be performed very well live. I think vocally, mainly, she seems very confident and secure. And if they can match it with a very kind of suggestive stage performance, it could be really palpable, I think. Maybe jury winner would be a bit of a stretch, I think. But I could see it do considerably better with juries than with television.
Paulo.
Yeah, no, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I think with the juries will perform well. I don't know about winning, but it will be performed really well. It's a band with a long career and like very adult style of song. They will perform, like, the performance I think would be good. But I think we'll connect better with the juries than with the televote. That being said, depending on the televote result, it might be a non-qualifier, maybe Belgium.
Mhm. Mhm. What about what was the song that I said? Azerbaijan.
Can Paolo start?
Yeah, Paul starts.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's a bad song at all. Like I think it's a nice song. It's bring the ethnic sound that we all like. One thing that I said in the other video that I'm really worried, it's that she is not very much of a dancer. I can see that, like, so that can bring the performance a little bit down. But I don't think it's a bad song at all. I think it's a very nice song to listen. Like,
Mm. I think the final minute of that song is what really hits it home, and that's the crucial part if it's going to work or not live. Because I think that when I just listen to it, headphones on and stuff, the final minute it excites me. I really get pumped up, when I hear it, and it's very easy to connect as an audience with something that just pushes so intensely. And I think that if they can really pull that off live as well to get that feeling, it's gonna connect with the audiences definitely. I don't know if the question is directed if it's gonna win the jury vote, because I definitely don't think it will do that. But I think this is more of a televote song than a jury song. Just personally, it's not incredibly challenging musically, like composition wise. It's not very challenging in that sense. It sticks to a formula that works, even though that it's not really super pop inspired in terms of structure. It still has these tendencies of something hard hitting. It has its type of audience, and I don't think that the juries might necessarily single this one out next to all of the other songs in the semi.
Mhm. In Norway.
I don't like
it. Well, I think it's a really tough one. I can see. I think it will work wonders with a Swedish audience. I don't think it will work wonders with the maybe Bulgarian audience. That's just my hunch. It feels very similar to what we have in Sweden, maybe at times. Like it just. And Sweden, obviously, we kind of friends with Norway, so we will always vote for them regardless. But I really do think that this song sounds like something that could also have worked in Sweden. So we will probably appreciate it here. I think the juries will probably rank it pretty high, but I don't see a wide appeal all over Europe liking it.
Do you think it's going to qualify?
It depends on how the competition is staged and how the competition is performed and how he performs. He seems pretty good on stage, watching from the live performance from their own final. But it also comes down to you have to be better than how many acts go out? 6. So you need to have 6 acts below you. And that can, I don't know, could go either way.
Wow. I know you don't like the song, but do you think it's going to qualify?
I hope it doesn't. But that's one of the songs that really goes down with the performance. Like, if I'm gonna judge for the performance from the Melody Grand Prix, I don't see it qualifying. Like, and I don't know. I don't see it connecting with much of Europe audience, with the European audience. Maybe with Scandinavian, maybe, but not much with the rest of Europe. Yeah, I don't see it qualifying at all.
Yeah, but there is something that, like, we usually focus on the song. Like, we are fans, we usually focus on the songs. But there are people that do not really care about that. Like, I remember that a friend of mine in 2017. My friend from Finland, I asked her, please vote for Portugal in 2017 in the semifinal. And she did, okay, I voted for that song from Portugal. I did not really like it. I voted for it because you asked me, but I actually voted for Montenegro too.
I mean,
You see?
Party for Everybody from Russia finished second, and no one can claim that that's a quality song musically, so there is always that. And I think that Norway this year also has the strength of maybe a younger demographic, because they will look at all of the wings and they will kind of like it. I just have that feeling, that maybe kids will ask their parents to vote for the Angels. Yeah, maybe.
I think it can qualify. And there's a question here just for us to close this semi-final one thing. Who do you think will be the shock non-qualifier of the first semi? Let's start with Paulo, so I'm going to give Groot some extra time to think.
A shock non-qualifier from the first? Maybe Australia. I don't know. Australia can go with a disadvantage because of they're not going to perform live. So maybe that, yeah. Maybe not so surprising at all, but I don't know.
I'm not sure what the favorites are. I would say Australia too. I don't think Australia is going to make it. I mean, even though I admire many things about it, but I don't think that it will make it. But then again, I'm terrible at predictions, so.
Australia is in the bottom 3 of the betting odds.
Okay. So not a shock non-qualifier.
No. A shock non-qualifier. A shock non-qualifier would be maybe Romania, Norway. Norway is 7th in the betting odds of the semi-final one. Okay, guys. Azerbaijan is 9th.
I think Azerbaijan, if it doesn't transmit on stage, it could definitely go out.
Yeah.
But I have faith in that it will be a pretty good performance, and that the song will still excite many people. But I could see it miss out because it's not done properly on the stage.
Yeah. I think the semi-final is very difficult. I think that the only songs that I'm not going to qualify for sure are Slovenia and North Macedonia. Those songs are not going to qualify. But so there's a question here about the stage. What do you guys think about the stage? I think it's marvelous.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I haven't seen it.
I think it's a very good one. Yeah. Very well.
No, you have to change the staging to have a chance. The initial one looks pretty cringy. I think that's their strength. I think that the staging is their strength, because the song is not very
good.
Yeah. It's not bad, but it's not very good. I think that their strength is on the staging. That's at least what I think. What country do you think it can be an underdog and surprise us?
I'll be optimistic. Czech Republic. I pray that it's Czech Republic. I think Benny is super charismatic. I think the song is super energetic, super enjoyable. I've listened to it a lot of times, and I do think that there is a pretty wide audience for this kind of music. And it's just there to really cheer up people, I believe. And it's very fun and charming and inviting. I can't see it, just get ignored. Kind of like Czech Republic in 2019. It was very well received, even though people didn't expect it. Because it was inviting, it was warm, it had charm. I think a similar thing could happen.
Paulo.
Yeah, I think especially after 2018, Czech Republic knows how to deliver a performance. And I also think Benny is extremely charismatic and he is very fun. I don't see it not qualifying at all. I really expect good things for Czech Republic. From the first semi-final, maybe Israel can be a surprise qualifier because it's not doing well at the batting outs, but Israel can, because of the style of the song, because Eden is a very, very good performer also. So I think from the first semifinal, I think Israel can be like a kind of an underdog.
I hope you're right on both.
There are some people here thinking that Norway can be a shocking qualifier. I think Norway can be a dark horse of the edition, like Poland 2016. And like, there's a very interesting story about Poland because there is a friend of mine. She's like over 40, and I went to her house in 2016 to watch Eurovision because she had the channel on her TV. And she's like one of these people that do not really watch the show. She's just there to drink beer and have conversations and blah blah blah. And she was there drinking beer, and she listened to the song from Poland and said, "Okay." And then during the recap, she said, "Okay, this song is going to do very well." And I thought, "No, it's not going to do well." And she said, "No, it will do very well. I would vote for that." So, guys, please.
Yeah, I think we as fans kind of get blinded by the immediate impact that songs will have because we listen to all of the songs and we get really invested into it. And then I think that when you're exposed to the songs all at once for the first time, you really get the feeling that, okay, this one actually stood out. This is the one that I remember. And we're kind of blinded from that because we actually are so engaged into everything that's going on.
Yeah, and I think there are two kinds of people who usually watch Eurovision, and they are not fans, but there's those like housewives who vote for songs like Portugal 2021, like this song from Portugal. The housewives are going to vote for that song. They probably voted for Poland in 2016 too. Okay, and there are also people who vote, okay, this is ridiculous, I'm going to vote for that. You know, like people are going to vote for Norway. So I think Norway is being overlooked by fans because it's constantly being compared to Kaino, but Falling Angel is better in my opinion. Okay.
I think that's a big point of it, that people have kind of written off Norway because it beat a fan favorite.
Yeah.
I think that could do. I mean, I followed the national finals pretty closely in 2018. And I remember that happened a lot with like when songs won and everyone was like, no, this song should have won. And then the song that actually won, got kind of dragged down by people because they were upset. I don't think any difference now.
Yeah.
I think the main example would be Spain. I think in 2018, didn't they have Lo Malo, which was massive fan favorite, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the fans outside Spain. But like the fans in Spain, they wanted Tu Canción. Tu Canción was one of the favorites to win Eurovision, guys.
Really?
Didn't do so well.
Wow. We can see that taste is subjective.
It was crazy. Like how? Why? Well. So we compared Finland to Italy, the two French songs, and now let's compare their main songs. I loved Austria last year, and I was left a little disappointed with Austria this year. So we're going to talk about the second semifinal, and let's start talking about Austria, guys. What do you think? Do you think Austria has a chance to qualify? Groot.
Okay. Yes, I think it does. If we start with the question of comparing the two Amen songs, I think Austria is the stronger one. It's less predictable in a sense, and I also think it's more approachable for an audience. I think that Vincent seems really down to earth. I'm not saying that Anna from Slovenia isn't, but it just feels that song is so dramatic that you kind of have to be in a very special state of mind to connect with it. And while I think the Austrian one is just more
accessible, maybe.
Yeah, accessible, and also maybe a bit more intimate in a sense that you feel kind of connected to him. I don't think the song is incredibly strong because I'm a bit tired of the repetition in the chorus. I don't like it. I don't like that part of the song. I like the rest of it, but it grinds my gears a little bit. This chorus, but I definitely think it has a chance of qualifying. I mean, it seems very approachable, and I think juries will take to it a little bit. It's musically, like composition wise, it has some cool things in there, I think. It's just that maybe the chorus is a bit too repeated. I think it goes hand in hand with what Portugal is doing this year, also repeating the chorus a bit too much, while the rest of the song stands very well on its own.
Paulo, what do you think about
I don't like the song, but I can see if it qualifies. I can see like it's a ballad that stands out in the middle of lots of pop songs. It's a very jury-friendly song, and comparing like with Slovenia is way more accessible than the other one. Like, yeah, like I can see the chance of qualifying. But I think if it does qualify, I don't think it's going to be like in high positions, you know.
it could be a terrible 2 point.
You really
Not
think that's
no
bad?
points,
No
not no
point.
points, but you know, it can
In the final, not
bad.
in the semi-final, in the final.
Oh yeah. In
If
the
it
final,
qualifies.
no points still no, but like low points for the televote. Yeah, but not nil. No, not when you have Germany in the semi-final.
But people who are going to vote for Norway, they would also vote for Germany.
I don't know. I don't know that. Yeah, that I don't know. But you know, it's talking about Austria. It's a very accessible ballad. Yeah, that is true. It's a radio-friendly song. Also, yeah. And if it's it's a qualifier, maybe like 9th, 10th position.
So let's talk about Portugal, okay? There was a lot of controversy among the Portuguese fans because the song was not expected to win. There was another song in English, like by a guy called Neve, and he was the favorite. Not a personal favorite of mine. I think that the songs in Portuguese in Festival da Canção they were much better. That's my opinion. But I think that Portugal has a very respectful entry. I think it's a good song. And what do you guys think? Let's start with Paulo this time.
Well, I like the song. I really like the song. It was surprising because you know we are like used to a Portuguese language song winning Festival da Canção, and it stirred a lot of controversy also in Portugal. So, but Neve was not my favorite also, like personal favorite, no. But it's a very good song in the way of its harmony and melody. Like I think, for example, the piano and his voice works wonders together, and it could be like a surprise qualifier. If I say like what a surprise qualifier also for the second semifinal, I would be happy if Portugal qualifies. So yeah, I think it's a very nice song with a very very good band also.
Yeah, I was about to say, if I had been sitting in a bar and this band came up on the stage and started playing this song, I would be floored. Like I would love every second of it because I will use the word again, but I think it's very intimate, this one as well. Just how the sound of the piano and how his vocals are really storytelling in a way. And it's very like the band members really know what they're doing. They work together so well, and they all know that they're not going to steal the spotlight from each other. They feel very confident with each other, and it's just if you just sit there and you're at the location they're playing at with live instruments, it would just be one of these. I would probably get chills because I would love it so much just hearing how scaled back everything is. But when you have it on the big big Eurovision stage. I'm not sure if it will actually connect with the audiences. I hope it does. I really hope that it will qualify, because I think it would be a very nice change up in the final. But I'm doubtful. I am.
Yeah, it can do in Albania 2018. So there is something that you said, Groot, which I think it's very interesting. There are some countries who are related to storytelling, and Portugal is one of these countries that they are storytellers. I think Ireland, they are also storytellers, and I think that even though the song is in English, it's a very Portuguese song. You know, it does have its American mood, but the style, the song is about an experience. They met this prostitute in Amsterdam, and she was very old, and she went through a lot, and she believed that love was always on her side. And they wrote a song about her. They probably listened to this story in English, so it doesn't make sense to write that story in Portuguese. So it's a beautiful song, in my opinion. I think it should and deserves to qualify. I would like to talk to you about the two last year favorites who seems to be not in the radar this year: Iceland and Bulgaria. Groot.
Obviously, I didn't listen to last year's songs until this year, so I'm a bit out of the loop in that sense. But I, of course, know that these two were big favorites. Iceland, I definitely see why it wouldn't maybe be this year, because I do think it's very much a similar thing as to what they went with last year. They knew how successful that was, and they wanted to do it again. And to us fans who have heard both songs, it might not be as, it doesn't speak to us as much maybe. But I think that, audiences around Europe might be exposed to this artist and his group and this kind of music for the first time. So they will get the impression of this song like all of the fans did with his song last year. So I don't think that it should be counted out. I think that it might still have a similar impact.
Okay, what do you think, Paul?
I think Iceland, they wanted to repeat the formula of last year, and they knew how to go viral. But this year they didn't go viral as last year was. But the thing is that Dari Fresh, he is a very funny guy, and he knows how to do that in a performance. So I think that's what will be their success. Iceland's success will be totally down to the performance. The music video was very, very funny. So I think that what's gonna bring success to Iceland, it's gonna be the performance.
I agree.
We have a couple of comments here. Fabio, hello guys. Don't you think the 2021 stage very similar to the 2019 at the level of the structures? I think it's okay. I think they're a bit similar, but they're not very similar. I'm not sure if Fabio understands English, but eu acho que é pouco similar, mas não é igual. É parecido, mas não é igual. Okay, Groot did not see the stage. So
no, I can't say that.
So, Festival da Canção, FDC, was by far the best and underrated national finals of the season. I was very surprised Valeria didn't do better. I really loved her song. I think, did you listen, Groot, to the Festival songs?
I haven't.
Yeah, but this song, I think the Valeria song was the one to choose. It was like a safe qualifier.
Yeah.
Not my favorite, but a safe qualifier.
Yeah, I agree with Kieran. I also thought that Valeria would do better.
For sure. Hobson Kennedy saying I love Bulgaria. I think Bulgaria is high in the beating odds, actually, 4th or 5th. No, it's not. It's 6th. Now, they were better, but now they are not doing well anymore. And guys, something that we have to understand that these songs, not every song, I'm not sure if Groot and Paulo are going to agree with me, but some of these songs, they are not exposed enough to a wild audience. But like for example, there was this show in Spain, and they invited Barbara Pravi, John Steers, and Victoria. They all performed the song. The show was like very popular, a lot of audience, but Barbara Pravi did very well in the charts. John Steers did decently, and Victoria was just ignored.
Mm.
Yeah, and after that performance, the betting odds totally changed because France was in third, and they went up, putting Switzerland in third place, and Bulgaria went down. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
What do you think, Groot, about Bulgaria and Iceland?
I think Bulgaria will come down a lot to the staging. It seems like the song is more catered to really be visually telling. Maybe it's not super explosive in terms of its arrangement in that sense. It really feels like the story is at heart here, and they want to really visualize it while they also tell it musically. So I think that it needs that hand-in-hand kind of feel.
Mhm. And Iceland.
We already talked about Iceland,
We
didn't we?
already talked about Iceland.
Maybe it's one of the effects because I just got vaccinated and I'm not feeling very well. I'm not feeling very well. I got some pains here, but whatever. Guys, I would like also to ask you about two other songs. The first one is San Marino, because many fans believe San Marino is going to qualify, and they believe it's a sure qualifier. And the second song that I would like to also listen to your opinion is Serbia, because many people think it's not accessible. What do you guys think?
San Marino will definitely go down with the performance, which I'm quite afraid of what's gonna be. In terms of music, I think it's the most produced song San Marino ever sent. But when we think about San Marino, it's like we think, oh, staging. That's gonna be what's gonna be, you know. But it's not gonna be difficult in a way that if they do a good performance, they're going to qualify. It's like simple for them, I think, because San Marino always is like Valentina Moneta. I'll put that the country in a way that we are rooting for San Marino to at least qualify, and as they did in 2019, which was quite surprising for me, to be honest. But yeah, for me it's gonna be like they do a good staging. It's gonna be a good. It's gonna qualify for them. I think it's gonna be safe like that. About Serbia. I don't think it's not accessible. I just think it's because the countries of the Balkans, they tend to send the song in their native language. So I don't know if that's what people are saying that's not accessible. I think it's okay. It's a song like a pop song that's gonna make people want to dance. Yeah. It's a formula that works for them, I think, for the Balkans in general. So yeah, I don't see that issue in Serbia.
Groot.
I think, as Paolo said, San Marino definitely has the most well-produced song they've ever sent this year. That's no doubt about it. And I also don't think it will be an issue of qualifying with it. But at the same time, I'm not sure how the odds look now, but I'm pretty sure that they have been towards the very top, right? Of the betting odds.
Sixth place.
Still pretty high. I do not see that happening, maybe, but I've been wrong so many times before, so I don't know. But I would definitely say that this is a very solid effort, and just listening to the song, it feels completely professional, and you would definitely be able to hear it on any radio station. And it's, I mean, everything has been done. There really isn't any flaw in the song, so I don't see how anyone can really just point at it and say, well, I don't like it because of this or that. I think it will come down to a performance in that case. As for Serbia, I haven't reviewed it yet, but I'll go out on a limb and say I don't think it will do very well. I just get the feeling that I think mainly the studio cut sounds very messy in a sense. It's very kind of shouty in a sense. There are a lot of loud instruments really going together all at once, and it just is a lot to take in. And I think that if they kind of fit that with a performance, it might just become too much. I'm not sure. It's just a feeling I have that it could really be a bit over the top. And I think that I've heard people say that they find the chorus melody really catchy. But what I don't think that it is really distinct, because the background music is so loud all of the time. So I'm not sure that when you listen to it the first time, you will really latch onto it. I'm not sure on that.
So, guys, is there any song in this particular semifinal that you would like to mention, or do you think it's very good? Because it seems that Groot's favorite in this semifinal is Czech Republic, right?
Spot on.
So, is there any other song that would you like to mention or talk about?
We've talked about majority. I think. I mean, Switzerland is obviously one that stands out, I think, but we've already talked about it. So,
I actually have a question for you, Groot, about Denmark this year. What do you think about that?
Oh, it's super charming to me. I don't know how it will go down with people in general, but for a Swedish person, it goes down really charmingly. Maybe not all Swedish people, but I think the Swedish people that grew up with, for instance, Arvingarna, who you might be familiar with.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people like that in Sweden, and they will kind of appeal to the same audience, I believe.
I think that's a very nice song. But I do like the studio version better than I did like the Dansk Melody Grand Prix performance. So it's a charming song. It's a very, very charming song, I guess.
We got people supporting you here, Groot, saying that Serbia is a mess and he doesn't understand why people like it. I agree with Groot. San Marino made a good effort with the production, but I don't really think it will do well. Kieran is saying that Greece has got to be my favorite in semifinal 2. This year is a very, very strong year, even stronger than last year for Marcos. Okay, guys, just to wrap up, what do you guys think about the finalists? We have Germany, who I think you guys are doing wrong because you guys hate that song. It's just not bad. It's okay. But what do you guys think about the finalists in general? We have talked about France. I think we have talked about Italy too. But what about Spain, Netherlands, and the other one? Which
UK?
UK. Yeah.
Should I go?
Yeah, please.
I think Netherlands is the standout out of them. I really connect with that song and its approach because it feels very honest and it feels very proud of what it wants to do. I've seen that it's got some backlash, like unnecessary negativity surrounding it. The jokes about broccoli are, in my opinion, seriously childish and annoying. It's a song that really represents its heritage. And I think that what we don't need to, what we shouldn't be allowed to forget in Eurovision is to really admire when someone wants to share a piece of themselves with the world and with Europe in this case. it's kind of heartbreaking for me to see that people can latch on to this song in such a negative manner when all it wants to do is really speak for what he believes in and what means something to him. I know that it's not only backlash, but I just focused a little bit on the backlash there because I think it's uncalled for. In another sense, I think that this song really is probably the one I enjoy to have in the contest the absolute most, because it's something completely different from any song that I can ever remember being in. And as I said, it's very personal to him. It's very striking in that sense. And I admire it way too much. And I really enjoy having it in the selection.
That's interesting. Paulo.
Yeah, I think the song is beautiful. The video, wow, amazingly beautiful. Yeah, but I'm afraid that's gonna fall in the curse of the past winners when they place very low in the contest. I hope it has a good staging, so maybe it can connect more, because it's not a bad song. It's not like he's a really talented singer, a very talented artist, and I didn't see that part of the backlash, to be honest. I'm really surprised to see that. That really sucks, but I'm afraid it's gonna fall like in the last places in the final, because of maybe the structure of the song. It's not very familiar with the lots of the songs and not familiar with what people are used to listen, maybe. So yeah, I'm afraid Netherlands will not do really well in the contest. Not that it's deserved. No, it's not like Israel in 2019. No. It's true.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, but yeah, I think like from the Big Five, France and Italy are the ones that are gonna lead the Big Five, and UK can be like the third place of the Big Five, like to do better. I don't like Spain and Germany at all.
I think
Spain and Germany.
I just want to tie in something there on Netherlands, because while it's unfortunate if it doesn't do well, I've come to the point where I don't really care about it doing well, and I hope that they don't either, because they've done something that they really wanted to show. Yeah. And that's a win in its own. I mean, they've just won in 2019. Now they send something that they want to share with the world. Let's just let them do that. We'll see how it goes, but I think the win is already there, that this was allowed to be a part of the selection.
Yeah, I think they're going to bring something different from this to the stage, like the aesthetic and the style. It's going to be something beautiful. If they're going to do like something like they did in the music video, it's going to be something beautiful and colorful to see. I'm really looking forward for that.
Yeah, there is something about the Netherlands. I think the song is fine. Like it's not like I don't dislike it. I think it's just fine. And I expected it to be last. Like, oh, this is going to be last because it's not really appealing. However, it seems that people who really like music and people who understand music, like real musicians, they do like the Netherlands. Like Nadine, she was one of the competitors in Festival da Canção this year. She mentioned Netherlands as one of her favorites, along with France. And I have there's a friend of mine who he became an Eurovision fan because he likes to listen to different stuff. And he said, okay, this song from the Netherlands is amazing. He said, and he told me, I think they're going to do it. Yeah, they're going to do it well. I think they can win again. I said, I don't think they're going to win. But it's just like him probably fangirling. But I think that some people in the jury that are hardcore musicians, they are probably going to support the Netherlands. And it's probably not going to be that last. because of the juries who really are connected to music. Okay, guys. So I think we are coming to the conclusion of this live. There are some comments here just to Hannah is saying hi. Thanks, getting underrated again. So sad. French is also so different and unique from the rest of the songs. I think its success will happen exactly because of that. Barbara Pravi said Portugal song is her favorite. I watched Groot's reaction of Voila, and in an instrumental point of view, Voila is also supreme. We still have the same winner, Sanyo. I think we do. My favorite is France. What's your winner, Groot?
It's so difficult to say. France is up there, definitely.
Paulo.
Well, I love Russia, but I really love Russia. Like, but it's something about my style. But yeah, saying France, Italy is very winner material. Also, I think. But I just decide my winner after the performance because that is when that is when we see what's going to be brought. Yeah.
Yep, we do have Voila for the win. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being here. Groot, thank you very much for accepting this interview.
Thank you for having me. It's my first time doing this, so
I would like to invite you for next year to talk about Festival da Canção. You know,
yeah, well, we can probably make that work. It's kind of very far in the future to think about now. We'll see. But I'd be up for it, I think.
Time flies.
Time flies. Yeah, I think that would be very good, and people from Portugal would be very pleased to listen to your opinion. And usually the songs for Festival da Canção, they are very appealing to musicians. So you're probably going to have a very good time listening to the songs.
I listened to them last year, actually. Or, well, I listened to them this year, but the ones from last year. And I really enjoyed them. I think it was a pretty strong selection.
You see? Okay. Guys, thank you very much. Do you guys have some final words, something to say? Guys, please subscribe to Groot's channel, okay? He has a very good channel. The link is in the description. Subscribe to our channel too, please.
Yeah.
Any final words?
Subscribe to my podcast.
Your podcast.
I do have a podcast, Café com Eurovision, in Portuguese a little bit, but it's going to be English stuff too. So,
all right, I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Yeah. My final words is just thank you for having me because it's been nice. I've as I said, I've never done a chat room like this live on YouTube before, so it was fun. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for accepting. Guys, please keep up with our channel. Tomorrow, we are going to have people who are not Eurovision fans, and they know absolutely nothing about Eurovision. They haven't heard about the songs before, and they're going to react to the songs live. Okay? So keep an eye on our channel for tomorrow.
Will they watch all of it? Or
no, just a couple.
No. Otherwise, it'll be a day-long stream.
No, just a couple of songs. Okay, guys, see you. See ya. Bye.
Bye.